أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه من سن بسنة يوم الدين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, As-A.W. wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very happy Jumma Mubarak. Today is the day of Friday and it's a special and holy day. And today we are talking about the topic of the farewell khutbah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As you know, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the Rasul only performed one Hajj, and that was his first and his last, because after that he passed away from this dunya. And that is why that first and last Hajj and the sermon that he gave in the khutbah that he gave in that Hajj is known as the farewell khutbah or farewell sermon of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the reason it's called farewell because after that he did not perform the Hajj, and therefore he passed away a few months after that. In the farewell khutbah or farewell sermon of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there are a lot of important rules and regulation, advices and injunctions which pertain to humanity in general, more specifically the sanctity of human life, the unity of the world and the human race and population, the rights and obligations of the women and the special treatment for them in Islam, as well as the abrogation of usury interest in terms of financial transactions. What we will do over the next few Jummas is little by little, short by short, we will talk about the farewell khutbah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallam, and we will take one paragraph each Friday at a time to understand the injunctions and also understand the sunnah and order of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallam. He starts off by saying, Ayyuhan nas, O human beings, O people, Isma' minni, listen to me. Ubayyinu lakum, I will explain to you. فإني لا أدري لعلي لا ألقاكم بعد عامي هذا. For I do not know if I shall meet you after this year of mine. في موقفي هذا, in this special place and in this special location of the Hajj. Ayyuhan nas, O human beings, O people, inna dima'ukum, verily your blood, wa amwalukum, and your wealth, haramun alaykum, an talqu rabbakum ka hurmati yawmikum. They are very, very holy and special in sanctity. Your blood and your wealth is very holy and special and sacred. Haramun here does not mean in terms of forbiddance, but here it means in terms of the sanctity of the blood and the sanctity of wealth. In other words, the hidden message is that we should not spill blood of each other. We should not steal from the wealth of one another. And كَحُرْمَةِ يَوْمِكُمْ هَذَا, it is as holy, your blood and your wealth is as holy as the day that this is in, meaning the 9th of Zul-Hijjah. The 9th of Zul-Hijjah is the day of Arafah, the day of Hajj. So as the holiness of that day is, the holiness of that sanctity of that day of Hajj, the day of Arafah is, in fi shahrikum hadha, in this holy month of Zul-Hijjah, wa fi baladikum hadha, and in this special holy place of Mecca where the Kaaba is, which is sacred and has sanctity of preservation, that no blood should be spilled in around the Kaaba, no murder, no mischief, no fighting, quarreling, or any kind of disobedience should take place around the holy place of the Kaaba and the Mecca. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this first paragraph of the Khutbatul Wada or the farewell sermon is talking about the sanctity of life and the sanctity of human life, the sacredness of human life, that the blood is very special and holy. Just like the Kaaba is holy to Allah, just like the Zul-Hijjah month is holy and sacred, special to Allah, and just like the day of Arafah, the day of Hajj is very holy and special to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the same way the wealth and the blood of a human life of a human being, the blood and wealth of a human being, is very, very special and precious and valuable and sacred and sanctity of it. In other words, it needs to be protected, preserved, just like the preservation of the Kaaba and the preservation of the holy place of Mecca. This first paragraph, he goes on to say, Ala hal ballaghta, did I not, transfer you the message? Did I not inform you? And so, Allahumma fashhad, O Allah, be witness that I have relayed this message to the people. Let us stop over here and ponder and reflect. And what is Rasul telling us? And remember, he's not saying, Ya ayyuhal mu'mineen, Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, all you the believers. He's saying, Ya ayyuhan nas, O human beings. All human beings need to listen to the word of Rasul, that a human life is very sacred. So there should be no bloodshed, there should be no murdering, there should be no war, there should be no killing and rampant spilling of blood along the whole world. This is something very important to understand, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, because today we see in the world, for the last centuries, many centuries, we see how much world wars and how much mass bloodshed and murdering in the world is taking place. Human life is being oppressed, the human life is being ransacked, and the human life is being literally obliterated as we speak right now. There are many countries and many places where human beings are being oppressed, being ransacked, being displaced from their homes and places. And that's just on a bigger, larger scale in terms of countries and civilizations, of the murders and wars and bloodshed that took place on earth. Let's talk about the individual self, the individual murders that take place when somebody robs someone, steals from someone, when somebody does looting, and in that looting and stealing and robbing, they take precious lives of people. In other words, the sanctity of life is very, very dear and near to our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. The sanctity of life is very, very valuable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran in Surah Ma'idah that whoever takes one soul, whoever kills one person, it's as if they kill all of humanity, all of human beings. And whoever saves one soul and saves one life is as if they're saving all of humanity, all of the people. Remember, brothers and sisters, saving a life is very, very precious to Allah. Saving a life, stopping bloodshed, stopping wars, stopping mass murders, stopping ethnic cleansing and oppression of innocent souls in society is something that is being relayed in the universal message of the farewell khutbah, farewell sermon of our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Rasulullah ﷺ is saying to humanity and human beings in general that do not oppress people. Number two, do not kill people unjustly, unfairly. Do not do mass murders, mass killings. Do not create havoc, anarchy, chaos in society. All of this comes under this first paragraph and the first part and portion of this farewell khutbah that our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ delivered 1400 years ago. He mentioned to the people that, look, this is what Islam advocates. This is what the deen, the Sharia of the Quran, the law of the Quran wants. That there should be peace and tranquility and serenity on earth. There should be no bloodshed, no anarchy, chaos, no mischief, fasad on earth, no qital, fighting and murdering and killing of people. Just think about the many, many wars humanity has done since that time until now. And even now, as we speak, there are so many wars being fought in different parts of this world. So much human blood is being spilled. And remember, Rasul is saying that the human blood is so valuable, so sacred and precious as Kaaba, as Mecca. And as the place of Mecca, as holy as Kaaba is as holy as the human blood is. But subhanAllah, today humanity as a whole, including us Muslims, we are not paying heed to this injunction of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallam. We are not at all listening to this advice of Rasulullah sallam. And that is why in this first portion and first part of the farewell khutbah, we as Muslims need to propagate and advocate the message of peace, the message of holiness, the message of sanctity of life, the message of sacredness of life. Especially amongst Muslims, there are so many Muslims killing Muslims today. And Rasulullah was the prophet for not just Muslims but all humanity. And the Quran is very clear, and the Prophet's hadith is very clear for Muslims not to kill each other. Yet we see Muslims divided into factions and groups and sects and whatnot, and one killing the other. Each one is at the throat of the other. So this is a big message for us, a message of the sacredness of life, human life, the holiness and the sanctity of human life, such to protect it and preserve it here on earth. Allah values all human beings equally. Allah did not say in the Quran that protect a Muslim life and take a non-Muslim life. Rasulullah did not say in this farewell khutbah that look, just protect your Muslim people and Muslim life. The holiness of the human blood is only for Muslims. No, he said for all humanity. Meaning wherever we see wars and battles and fighting and bickering, we as Muslims need to stop that. We need to stand up for justice. We need to stand up for what is right and remove oppression. This first paragraph of the farewell khutbah is talking about removing oppression from society. As we are right now in America, especially witnessing that there are Black Lives Matter, that the black race and the black people are being oppressed and being ridiculed and insulted and humiliated. It is our duty as Muslims, as human beings, as American Muslims, it's our duty to stand up for justice, stand up for what is right, and stand up shoulder to shoulder with those people who are being oppressed, who are being butchered and killed ruthlessly, mercilessly, without that 8 minutes and 46 seconds the knee was on the neck of George Floyd is giving us a clear depiction that humanity has lost its mind. That human being so ruthless, merciless, no mercy whatever, realizing that the person is dying and calling and crying for his life, crying for his mother, yet those words don't move and shake the heart of that police officer. That tells us that there is a big problem in the soul and mind and soul of that human being who is not being at all touched by the words of a person who is gasping for air. So my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, come on this Friday, let us make an oath and promise as American Muslims, as citizens of this country, that we shall stand up for justice. We shall stand up for what is right. We shall preserve human life. We shall defend the sanctity of human life. We shall advocate the sacredness of human life and let the world know that a Muslim, as long as he or she is alive, will not allow on their watch for human life to be butchered and obliterated, annihilated so mercilessly. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect and preserve us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use us for the khidmah and service of His deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to what is right in this country, in this world. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the inculcation to always stand up for the truth, for the haqq. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.